Hello, and this is a quick video or audio recording tutorial of the Cultural Exploration Intercultural Communication Small Group Project. So in this tutorial, I'm briefly going to explain the requirements of the assignment and the grading sheet. So I like to describe this assignment as, imagine you are a consulting firm and a business comes to you saying that they have travel or business to do with another country they never met. And your consulting firm is in charge of, in a nutshell, giving them all the ins and outs and gist of that culture or that country they're about to visit. So this is why I call it the Cultural Exploration Project. In this small group project, you and your group members will select a cultural community, which might be a cultural group or it might be a country, and you'll analyze and investigate the communication aspects of this cultural group. Your group should be about 3 to 5 people, and you will present a PowerPoint presentation from 20 to 25 minutes in length during our Zoom classroom meetings. The requirements also are that you have to incorporate a film or video in your presentation for a total of 50 points. So the project descriptions are as followed. In the following project, you will select a cultural/ethnic group to explore. This may include a country, subculture, or ethnic group. Investigate and report the communication aspects of this culture. You are encouraged to use scholarly journal articles, websites, books, magazine articles, and newspaper articles as research. Some topics you must investigate include, so before I get into this, when you're selecting a topic, I do have 2 caveats. So one is that you select a cultural ethnic group that you don't belong to, and the way I know that is based on your cultural resume. And that first come, first serve. So whatever group selects whatever cultural group, they call dibs on it. So once your group has decided on a topic or a cultural group, make sure you let me know as soon as possible so I could confirm it for you and no other groups could take that. So what information are you actually going to give during this presentation? First, you're going to give brief history and facts, and I do say brief. I'm not a history buff, and a lot of times many groups will spend too much time discussing the history. I'm kind of more concerned about the different communication aspects, but we do want some brief history and facts about the culture or the country. Language and ways of speaking, so you might discuss what's the main language and maybe some interesting idioms or rules in their language. Some nonverbal behavior, cultural values, including Hofstede's cultural dimension. So you should use that country comparison chart and discuss the different cultural values based on Hofstede. Behaviors, attitudes, belief, and religion. You could also discuss those other components of cultural behavior. Holidays, special occasions, and significant rituals. Arts, crafts, music and dance, and other recreational activities, things to do for a visit, stereotypes, prejudice, media portrayals, and miscommunication issues, and finally end your presentation with current events. Now, a couple things I want to add is obviously, let's just say for arts and crafts, music, dance, and other recreational activities, you only have 20 minutes for this presentation. So you don't want to talk about every single art and craft and every music or, dance that the culture has. You probably, with each section, want to focus on 1 or 2 aspects, okay? But you're not required to cover all the holidays of the culture, but maybe just 1 or 2 holidays that you find interesting or sticks out to you. In addition, let's just say this is a really easy format to follow. For example, if you do the country of Japan or the country of Brazil. But let's say you want to do the Cherokee tribe or the Australian Aborigines or the Amish community, right? Those might be a little bit more challenging, or I wouldn't even say challenging, but for example, you're not going to find Hofstede's cultural dimensions on those cultural groups, and that is completely fine. So you just might have to adjust a couple things on your content, but it won't be held against you because I do know you know, this is kind of more country format. Okay. The next things include the PowerPoint presentation. So during our Zoom meeting, you and your group members are going to present this to the class via a PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint presentation should be interesting, should be engaging, and all group members are encouraged to participate in the presentation. Okay, so you're encouraged, but you don't have to. And I'll explain this in a little bit detail. So the PowerPoints should have minimal text to identify key terms, statistics, and ideas, appropriate photographs, some nice graphics. The text should be grammatically correct. The PowerPoint should be symmetrical, professional, and visually appeasing. The video clips that you'll use in your PowerPoint presentation should be incorporated during the presentation, not just at the beginning or the end of the presentation. Your PowerPoint should include a reference or works cited page and a copy of the PowerPoint slides, or for the purpose of our assignment, an attachment of the PowerPoint slides is due at least a day before you guys present. Now, the presentation will consist of video clips that portray the culture. The video clips will be part of your time requirement. Clips should be between 1 to 3 minutes long. So you could either use one clip that is 3 minutes, or you could use 2 or 3 clips that add up to 3 minutes. But really, you shouldn't. 3 minutes is the maximum time that you have for video clips, and you are required to use them. If clips contain profanity or graphic material, please seek instructor's approval first. Okay, other considerations for the project. So a minutes report is due with the final project. The minutes report will have dates, members who attended each date, and brief notes of what was accomplished during the group meeting work session. A trial run of the presentations will be done the week before we present. In the trial run, narrators and those running the PowerPoint will test their equipment. It is important that you give a list of people that are require co-presenter privileges on Zoom a week before your presentation date. And then finally, instructor will select groups to go on the first and second date of presentations. Group members will only be permitted to present if all groups are present. So, for example, you might only decide that 2 people do the narration of your presentation, and maybe one group member clicks on the PowerPoint slide. So maybe 2 group members won't have an active role the day of the presentation, but everyone is required in your group to attend. If you are not there during class, the Zoom class meeting, you will not get credit for the presentation. And of course, if any situation arises, please contact me immediately. And like I mentioned before, group will decide how to present the information. If you all want to participate, or maybe if just only one person does. Below is the criteria of how I'm going to grade you. So 20 points will be on the PowerPoint presentation and the delivery and narration. So part of your grade is based on having nice, pretty, visually appealing PowerPoint slides, so a professional PowerPoint presentation. Another part of your of this requirement is that the narrators, and I just call them slide clickers, or the person who's going to handle the PowerPoint, are professional, are engaged, are enthusiastic. The group should be well organized and cohesive. Group members should handle technical equipment appropriately, and you should be in the appropriate time frame of 20 to 25 minutes. So doing this in the past, I would suggest that you have 1 or 2 narrators of the information. I've seen groups possibly have 3. That works out as well. And sometimes when you have 2, if you have all the groups, you just, everyone discuss it. That's okay as well, but you just got to make sure that you're all on the same page and know what you're saying. You should assign also 1 group member that specifically is going to be in charge of the PowerPoint and click on the PowerPoint. Now, the person that you assign to be the PowerPoint clicker, I need to know who that person is, because I am going to add them to be co-presenter on Zoom. So they have the right to share the screen. Not everyone in the class is going to get that privilege. Only the 1 or 2 person you decide to actually click and manage the PowerPoint as you present. The next part of your grade, 25 points, is basically based on the content. Okay, so all the information you provide. And the last point of, the last 5 points of your exploration grade is the small group minutes and collaboration. So basically, did you guys work effectively outside of the classroom? When I asked for check-ins and when I asked you guys to send me information, was a group member punctual to send me the information and on task? Okay, so that's pretty much about it. Okay, so right now your task should be getting to know your group members and also selecting what topic you want to do for the cultural exploration project. This is a really fun assignment, and I always feel that when we do this assignment, it's like we get to travel the world with really just staying in one spot.